Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you the Midyear Book Freakout tag. This is definitely my most favorite book tag. Even before I started filming videos, I posted the Midyear Book Freakout tag last year also. So I want to do it now too because it sums up the first half of the year really well. I've linked the creators of the tag in the description. You can go and check them out if you're interested. And without any further ado, let's get into the questions right away. Question number 1, best book that you've read so far in 2021. And the answer for this one is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. Okay, I wanted to film this video after finishing Queen of Air and Darkness, but still, from the Dark Artificer series, Lord of Shadows is my most favorite because the amount of work that has been put in by Cassandra Clare in this one is just so epic. I would have said Queen of Air and Darkness, but because of some reasons which I'll be discussing very detailed in my review, Lord of Shadows is my most favorite of all the 3 books. I'm still not saying that Queen of Air and Darkness is not good. Okay, it is a really good, solid conclusion, but the amount of impact that this book had as a middle book in the trilogy is just massive. Okay, if you've not read the trilogy, please go forward and read it. Lady Midnight is good. This one is like a different level of good. You'll not even be able to imagine that this world has grown this great and the plot has become so complex. The way in which she has handled each and every character and the relationships between them, everything about this book is perfect if you ask me. And I have said many times that Clockwork Princess is my most favorite Shadowhunter book so far, but now I can definitely say of all the Shadowhunters books that are published until now, Lord of Shadows is my most favorite, and after that will come Clockwork Princess. So yeah, this is the most favorite book that I've read so far in 2021. Question number 2, best sequel you've read so far in 2021. And for this one also I could have said Lord of Shadows, but I did not want to repeat the same book for everything else. So I went on for the second best sequel which I read, and it is Godsgrave by Kristoff. This is the second book in the Nevernight Chronicle. If you've not checked out my Nevernight Chronicle review, please do go and check it out because of all the 3 books in this trilogy, this is my most favorite one. I don't know how second books in the trilogy are making it to be my most favorite this year so far. Also, this one was really epic. Okay, Nevernight trilogy as a whole itself is a really unpredictable story. It is so dark, so violent and so gory throughout, but that flavor of the book and the main characters layers that we see, not even a single character in this one can be judged as a good character or a bad character. Okay, everyone is totally morally grey. You'll be able to understand why every character is doing what they are doing. You cannot say that they are doing it wrong because everyone does something so horribly wrong in the series, yet this book just stood out so great for me. Okay, especially the last 1/3 chunk of this one is definitely the best thing that I've read in quite a while now. If you ask me, compared to Lord of Shadows, I liked the way in which this one ended. Both of these books end in extreme cliffhangers, but I can definitely say the build up for this one was much greater. Question number 3, new release you haven't read yet but want to. I have 3 books for this one. Of these, the first one is obviously one of my most anticipated releases for this year, and it is Rule of Fools by Leigh Bardugo. This is the finale to the Grishaverse series, so I definitely want to read this. The next one is One Lost Job by Casey McQuiston. Okay, she's the author of Red, White and Royal Blue. I've read that book. I enjoyed it the whole time. Okay, it was so funny, so sexy. It was a complete entertainer. And this one is also a contemporary romance, but it has a twist of a character from the literal past living in the literal present, and it's kind of that character's stuck in a time loop. So that is a very intriguing concept which I have to read. The last one is Instructions for Dancing by Nikolai Yoon. Okay, I've read the past 2 Nikolai Yoon books. The first one being The Sun is Also a Star, and the next one being Everything. I enjoyed both of them. I definitely want to give this a go. And also one more reason why I want to read her books is that they are so quick reads but very impactful. So I'm very much interested to read these 3. Question number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have only one book which I'm very much anticipated to read, and I'm not sure if it will be releasing in 2021 or not, because somewhere I read that it's been pushed back to 2022, and it is the third and last book in the Eldest Curses series, which is The Black Volume of the Dead by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. I enjoyed the first book throughout. The second one was a disappointment, but the third one I'm expecting that everything will wrap around well, because I always trust Cassandra Clare when it comes to wrapping up series from all the books that I've read so far, because she knows how to conclude series, and when the story needs to end, she puts a full stop properly, and when she wants to explore more of the same universe and the same characters, she lives like insane loose threads which will just drive us crazy. This is a series which is going to definitely end with the third book. There are no more books in the series, so I'm very much awaiting for the release of this one. I'm not sure if it will be releasing in 2021, but this is the only book which I'm very much anticipated to release. Question number 5, biggest disappointment. It pains my heart to say this, but I have to. Okay, this is the most disappointing book that I've read so far in 2021, and I did not expect it to be so because I had very high expectations for this one, and it is The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu, which is the second book in the Eldest Curses series. Okay, I was expecting so much from this one and it disappointed me heavily. The disappointment was in the terms of the plot. Okay, I don't expect a lot of plot from the Shadowhunters books. I just go in for the characters, especially this series is about my darling Magnus Bane. Okay, and that's the reason why I was so pissed out after reading this one, because it's a 380 page book almost. Okay, and it was just like the plot is developed for 320 pages and the rest of the book, it's like, let's just throw that plot which we developed in the trash because it's not convenient enough for me to finish the book. It was like that. The only thing which I liked in this one was the development in the relationship between Magnus and Alec and how they have grown and transformed together over the years. It just happens like 3 years after the end of the Mortal Instruments, so you'll have to have finished the Mortal Instruments and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy to get into this one. There's also one other character who's a new Shadowhunter in this one, and that character is also one of my all-time favorites. But as a whole, this was a huge disappointment for me because I had a lot more expectations when it came to this one and it did not meet everything that I wanted. Question number 6, biggest surprise. I have 4 different books for this question, and only after picking up the books I noticed that all of them are from different genres. I have a sci-fi, a fantasy, a literary fiction and a mystery, so it's definitely a diverse group. I'll just talk about the books from the one which I read first to the latest book. The first one is A by Michael Crichton. Okay, I've talked about this many times in the channel already and I do want many more people to read this one. I'll link my clear, detailed, spoiler-free review of it in the description. Please do go and check it out because this is a really underhyped book and I do think it deserves to be read by many more people. The next one is a contrast for the previous question and it is The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu, which is the first book in the Eldest Curses series, and as much as I did not like The Lost Book of the White, I just devoured this one. Okay, it was awesome. It was more like a character examination of Alec Lightfoot compared to any other character in this one, and the relationship between these two characters, how Cassie Clare has just given them so much substance and so much muscle in order to develop them as actual human beings. It was wonderful to read. If I have reviews for any of the books that I'm talking about in this video, they'll all be available down. You can go and check them out if you're interested. The next book is Lone Wolf by Jodi Picoult. It's a literary fiction and it also has a thriller element put into it. We get the story narrated from 4 different points of view and each and every point of view is so crystal clear and very unique from one another. All the 4 different points of view are from the same family. And at last we have my most recent read from June this month itself, and it's Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is the first book in the Truly Devious series. I have the next 2 books. I have not got the latest book alone yet, but the atmosphere that was developed by the author in this one was pristine. Okay, it was perfect. It's a cozy mystery thriller which keeps you guessing, but you will not be able to predict what's going to happen at all. If you're a speed reader, trust me, you'll just devour this book in a single sitting. It's super simple to read, very engaging and super entertaining. Please do go and check it out. I will make a review for this series once I end up reading all the books, but not right now. But I'd highly recommend you guys to try this one. Question number 7, favorite new author. I have 3 answers for this question also, and all of these 3 authors are based upon just one book I've read by each one of them. The first one is obviously Jodi Picoult. Okay, I read Lone Wolf and I'm totally in love with this author's writing style and how she has amalgamated the different characters put together. The next one is obviously Frederick Bachman. Okay, I have not talked about A Man Called Uva in this video, but definitely that is the book which made me feel the most happy reading it the whole time. Okay, it felt like it started on a negative tone, but the way in which the story progresses and transitions, it is really beautiful. You'll not be able to understand where the story became from negative to positive, or the way in which you are thinking about the story changed from negative to positive at all, because it was that good. And the last one is Maureen Johnson. Okay, after I read Truly Devious, it took all the effort in the world for me to not continue on with that series and finish it off in like 2 to 3 days, because the first book was that great. The only reason why I did not want to continue on with that series is because I wanted to finish the Dark Artifices in June itself, that is this month itself, so I did not proceed on with the other books. Question number 8, newest fictional crush. The answer for this one is no one, but I can say that my love for one character has become even more concrete when it came to 2021, and I think most of you might have guessed who the answer is, and it is obviously my darling Magnus Bane. Ever since I read any of the other books, there is Magnus in every Shadowhunter book. Okay, so you need not worry at all, especially when he comes in the Dark Artifices and Last Stars. In Last Stars he just appears in really little bits, but in the Dark Artifices he's like a very important presence, and the things that he does in there cannot be done by any other character. Okay, and I started to love this character even a lot more. If there's a person like Magnus in my life, it'll be awesome. Okay, I just want them to be there. Nothing. I don't want to be related, I don't want to be a friend, nothing. I just want to have the existence of a person like this one in my life. It'll just be awesome. So yeah, Not a crush, but Magnus is my answer. Question number 9, newest favorite character. I'm sorry for doing this, but all the favorite characters that I'm going to talk about are from the Shadowhunter Chronicles. But I'll most probably stop after a few more days because in the midst of July, I'll definitely finish reading all the Shadowhunters books, and there'll be not that much to talk about until there are new books published. So please bear with me for this answer alone. The first one is Cordelia Carstairs from the last arcs. Okay, I've not liked any of the main characters in any of the Shadowhunters series except Cordelia because she's just good. Okay, I like Tessa, but of the 3 main characters in the Infernal Devices, my most favorite is Jem Carstairs, and after that we get another Carstairs who's Cordelia. She is empathetic, she's kind. Okay, the understanding that she has with each and every character, we have like 15 different characters, 15 main characters in this book, and she interacts with each and everyone and everyone likes her. That's the best part. She doesn't fake anything. She's really beautifully written, so definitely she's one of my favorite characters from this year. And all of the rest of the characters are from Lord of Shadows. Okay, my most favorite book so far this year. And the first one is Cristina Rosales. Okay, she's a Shadowhunter from the Mexico Institute. The next one is Diana Rayburn. Okay, one of the main reasons which perked up this book so high for me was Diana Rayburn and what Cassandra Clare did with her character and who she represents there. It was awesome. I've not at all read such a twist and such a beautiful portrayal in any other book at all. So definitely she's one of my favorites. And all the Blackthorn siblings minus Julian. Okay, because I don't like Julian that much after having finished the entire series, but all the other Blackthorns, I love them. Okay, the siblingship that they have, even Julian also, he has a really great bond with his siblings. He's almost like a father for them. Definitely these are my most favorite characters so far from the year. Question number 10, a book that made you cry. Okay, I was waiting to film this video just in order to finish reading this book, and it is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. Okay, this is the last book in the Dark Artificer series, and I just finished reading this yesterday, and trust me, of all the time that I reading this book, half the time I was crying because it had a lot of wonderful moments. Okay, the strength of this book, if you ask me, is that it has like huge webs which tie in the entire Shadowhunter universe together, and the decisions that Cassie Clare has taken towards the end of this one are extremely brave, and I don't know how she's going to tackle them in the Wicked Powers, but definitely it is a wonderful Shadowhunters book. Okay, though Lord of Shadows is my most favorite of all the 3 books, this one made me cry at multiple instances. Okay, it draws instances from Clockwork Princess, from City of Ashes, City of Bones, City of Lost Souls, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, The Last Stars, and The Bane Chronicles. Almost every Shadowhunters book is directly tied with Queen of Air and Darkness in one way or the other, because in the timeline, excluding the short stories, this is the end of the main series so far, and the pitch that this book has given to the next series in the Shadowhunter universe is awesome. Okay, I cried many instances during this. I cried during many instances of this book due to joy, pride, happiness, sadness, grief, many things, and it was just so awesome. It was a wild ride, and definitely this is the book which made me cry the most this year. Question number 11, a book that made you happy, and for this one I'm choosing A Man Called Uva by Frederick Bachman. It is a literary fiction, and trust me, this is definitely one of the most heartwarming books that I've read so far this year, and it was really chill. Okay, I can understand that for some people this might sound like a very sad book while they are reading it, and they might cry at multiple instances, but once you finish the book and close it, you'll just feel so good. Okay, I can just express it using that single word. It will just feel so good after having finished reading this book, and you'll also develop a sense of empathy for people across different generations. And another book which I want to talk about is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I'm definitely going to continue on with this series. The first book was so fluffy, it was so cute. Okay, the family dynamic in this one was wonderful, if you ask me. I'll not say that the sibling relationship was so good. It might develop on the next 2 books, I'm not sure about that. But as a family, 3 daughters and their father, it was just perfection to read. Okay, it was a quirky book compared to anything else, and this is also one book which just made me feel so happy after reading. Question number 12, the most beautiful book that you've bought so far this year, and it is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare again. Okay, I just love the entire design of this cover and the way in which they are using all the main female characters. I think Grace Blackthorn will be the person who occurs in the last book, which is Chain of Thorns. Okay, in this one is an illustration of Lucy Herondale. Okay, the dress that she wears, the chain that she has in her hand, and also the Voyance rune, which we can see here, the wasps surrounding her hair, and her brown hair in specific, which just shows her lineage and how she is carrying on the genes of her mother. All those things are really beautifully portrayed in this one, and it's definitely the most beautiful book that I've bought so far this year. The last question, question number 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I cannot say a specific answer for this question because all the books on my physical TBR are the books which I want to read. Okay, most of the books which you can see within the frame are books which I have finished reading. There are also some which I have not read, but most of the last shelf which you cannot see, which is out of the frame over here, and the 2 shelves above on top, are filled with mostly books which I have not at all read so far, so I want to get to them as soon as I can. And I've also bought a few new books which are scattered here and there around the bookshelf and over there on the bed behind the camera. So those are all the books which I definitely want to read by the end of the year. I know that I'll not be able to finish everything by December, but I can finish a significant chunk of everything that I own. That's my goal if you ask me. So yeah, that's the answer for this question. So yes guys, that's the mid-year book freakout tag, and I don't freak out because my Goodreads goal for the year is 101 books and I've read like 87 books now itself, so I'm very much on track and I'll definitely surpass the goal that I have. And don't forget to leave your answers in the comments below because I'd like to know them. And if you did enjoy watching today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel because I publish new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.